I'm 75. It took me 40 years to learn this. Don't make the same mistakes. At the age of 60, I find myself reflecting on the immense journey of self-discovery and the profound lessons learned over 3 decades, many of which were forged through significant personal missteps. It is with a sincere hope that sharing these experiences can spare others from traversing similar, often arduous paths that I present this distillation of my most impactful learnings. During the years I was actively making these errors, the prevailing mindset I held was one of overconfidence, a conviction that I possessed all the answers, which regrettably rendered me unreceptive to alternative perspectives. Consequently, the wisdom gained was hard-won, often accompanied by considerable personal suffering. My past has been punctuated by serious health crises, a personal testament to a body that has weathered numerous challenges. While this might seem counterintuitive, this intimate familiarity with a vast array of symptoms has, paradoxically, allowed me to deeply empathize with and understand the struggles of many patients. It's not an experience I would wish on anyone, yet it has undeniably shaped my ability to connect and offer guidance. Now, let us delve into the 7 significant blunders I made, offering a clearer vision of what I wish I had understood and implemented sooner. The first colossal error was my misguided obsession with vitamin supplementation, a phase where I was consuming upwards of 100, and sometimes even more, different vitamins daily. This wasn't a mere handful of capsules. It involved entire bottles of various supplements. I vividly recall driving with my wife, compelled by an inexplicable urge, to the local health food store, believing that another visit would somehow unlock the secrets to my well-being. We would emerge laden with more vials and bottles, accumulating a veritable warehouse of these potent powders. At the time, I was grappling with chronic fatigue syndrome, severe insomnia, and the persistent ache of arthritis, alongside a host of other ailments. My sole focus was on discovering a vitamin that would miraculously inject more energy into my system and alleviate my suffering. This cycle of seeking a nutritional panacea continued relentlessly, driven by a strong aversion to conventional pharmaceuticals and a deep-seated desire for natural remedies. What I failed to grasp then was the fundamental truth that these supplements, if they were to have any efficacy, were entirely contingent upon a robust dietary foundation. My own diet, by any reasonable standard, was abysmal. I was critically deficient in macronutrients, the essential fats, proteins, and carbohydrates that form the bedrock of our nutritional needs. During this period, I adopted a vegan diet, attempting to derive my protein intake from plant sources. This endeavor proved to be an immense struggle. I felt perpetually unsatisfied and lacked the vitality I so desperately sought. The solution, in retrospect, was remarkably straightforward. I should have begun each day with a substantial serving of animal protein. It is crucial to understand that protein's primary role is the repair and regeneration of our bodily tissues. A significant portion of our body is, in fact, composed of protein, and this requires constant replenishment. While protein can contribute to energy production, our primary energy sources are carbohydrates and fats. My recommendation, therefore, is to shift your primary energy source away from carbohydrates and towards fats. Had I possessed this knowledge earlier, I would have prioritized the consumption of fatty animal meats, ensuring my body had the building blocks for essential repair and sustained energy. Moving on to mistake number 2, the pervasive and often extreme trend of detoxification regimens. At the time, detoxes were incredibly popular, promising to cleanse the body of toxins. However, these programs often had the unintended consequence of indiscriminately flushing out beneficial gut bacteria and vital electrolytes, posing significant health risks. The dietary intake during these cleanses was typically minimal, consisting of little more than some fiber, apple juice, and a cocktail of vitamins. The crucial flaw in this approach, particularly the inclusion of apple juice, was that it prevented the body from entering a state of ketosis, a metabolic process where the body burns fat for energy, which could have genuinely led to feeling better during the fast. The cardinal rule, one that I repeatedly transgressed, is never to undertake a cleanse or fasting program that relies on juices. My personal experience included the infamous Master Cleanse, a concoction of lemon juice, cayenne pepper, and maple syrup, which, while I endured it, was a deeply misguided choice. The excessive sugar content from the maple syrup prevented my body from ever transitioning to fat burning, leaving me perpetually hungry and feeling utterly miserable. The aftermath of these cleanses often involved prolonged digestive issues. Beyond juice-based cleanses, I also subjected myself to various herbal detoxes. I cannot count the number of times I would fall ill for 2 weeks following these protocols. The potent herbs, designed to release toxins, would trigger a strong immune response, effectively incapacitating me. I vividly recall a particular gallbladder cleanse where I consumed 12 ounces of extra virgin olive oil, having preemptively taken a handful of beet pills, thinking it would somehow aid the process. It was a foolish and near-fatal decision. The sheer volume of olive oil solidified in my esophagus, creating a blockage so severe that I genuinely feared for my life. The subsequent requirement to lie on my right side for extended periods was a further indignity. This entire experience was a profound waste of time and effort. The correct approach, as I now understand it, would have been to focus on establishing a balanced and nutrient-dense eating plan, perhaps supplemented with targeted nutrients. The cornerstone of this plan should have been animal protein, an abundance of vegetables, beneficial probiotics, and the inclusion of dairy products like cheese. Adopting these principles would have resolved a multitude of my health complaints far more effectively and safely. My third significant error stemmed from a procrastination mindset encapsulated by the pronouncement, "I'll eat healthy when I graduate." During my college years, my diet was largely composed of carbohydrates and an excessive intake of very strong coffee. Had I possessed the foresight to prioritize wholesome nutrition during that formative period, a choice that would not have been prohibitively expensive, simple options like eggs or sardines would have sufficed. My cognitive functions would have been vastly improved. I was perpetually tired, struggling to concentrate on my studies due to overwhelming fatigue, often needing to sleep simply to function. A significant portion of this exhaustion was directly attributable to blood sugar fluctuations, a concept entirely foreign to me at the time. Remarkably, upon graduation, my dietary habits did not improve. I then embarked on a vegan phase, convinced it represented the pinnacle of healthy eating, relying heavily on beans and what I perceived as clean protein. This decision proved detrimental. My entire gut became inflamed, and my health began to decline at an accelerated rate. It was only through a process of eventual discovery that I found the path to a healthier version of the ketogenic diet, which truly began to transform my well-being. Had this dietary approach been available to me during my college years, it would have been an absolute game changer. The overarching lesson here is not to postpone positive health changes until you reach a certain age or milestone. The consequences of neglect will invariably catch up. It is far more advantageous to implement these changes now. I can assure you that the rewards will manifest down the line. Mistake number 4 is a particularly interesting one, revolving around persistent right shoulder pain. I harbored a strong conviction that this pain was a localized issue requiring direct intervention, leading me to consult numerous therapists, chiropractors, and massage therapists, all focusing on my shoulder. Concurrently, I experienced a constant and unyielding tightness beneath my right rib cage, a sensation I couldn't pinpoint. The profound realization, which eluded me for years, is that right shoulder pain is almost invariably an indicator of underlying issues with the gallbladder and the bile ducts of the liver. It was only after developing an ulcer that I sought medical attention from several physicians. They, too, seemed perplexed, offering little insight into the cause of my discomfort. My bile was sluggish, leading to the tightness in that region, which in turn referred pain to my right shoulder. This experience underscores a critical question we must ask ourselves. Are we addressing the true root cause of our ailments, or are we merely treating the symptoms? Mistake number 5, pertains to intermittent fasting, a concept that initially seemed trivial and unremarkable to me. It was only when I began to explore and experiment with it, particularly through the lens of our ancestors who did not engage in frequent eating, that its significance became apparent. Every time we consume food, our insulin levels rise. The act of frequent eating, especially persistent snacking, particularly in the evening before bed, contributes to a cascade of health problems. Our bodies are not designed for constant grazing. This continuous intake of food, especially at night, leads to elevated insulin levels and hormonal imbalances. The detrimental impact of this habit is far more profound than commonly perceived. Upon abandoning the habit of constant snacking, I experienced a dramatic weight loss, dropping from 201 pounds to 185 pounds. More impressively, the persistent swelling around my eyes, a clear indication of insulin resistance and fluid retention, completely resolved. Many individuals with puffy or round faces and swollen eyes are often consuming too many snacks and an excess of carbohydrates. Intermittent fasting, therefore, proved to be an astonishing game changer, and I advocate for its adoption by everyone. I believe that, for the average person, limiting their food intake to 2 meals a day is optimal, with some individuals benefiting from a single meal per day. When we consume too many meals, we constantly spike our insulin levels. What often masquerades as genuine hunger is frequently a symptom of low blood sugar, a consequence of relying solely on glucose for energy. This glucose-dependent energy supply is short-lived, typically lasting only an hour and a half before the body craves another intake of fuel. This creates a cycle of constant fueling, but one that keeps us perpetually on sugar, preventing the body from ever transitioning into fat burning or ketosis. The fundamental purpose of intermittent fasting is to enable the body to comfortably transition from one meal to the next without experiencing overwhelming hunger, thereby facilitating a shift towards fat utilization. My sixth error involved an excessive reliance on kale shakes. While I still have numerous videos advocating for them, my enthusiasm for kale shakes at that time went far beyond moderation. I was under the misguided impression that a tremendous amount of fiber was essential, and for a period, I seemed to manage this high intake without experiencing significant issues. However, I observed that many individuals who overloaded their systems with fiber, particularly from concentrated sources like kale shakes, experienced significant bloating and gut inflammation. If I could revisit that period, I would have advocated for a gradual introduction of fiber, allowing the body to adjust and identifying individual tolerance levels, rather than indulging in an excessive consumption of kale shakes. The inherent challenge with kale shakes is that they often require sweetening, typically with fruits like pineapple and blueberries, thus introducing additional carbohydrates. This, in turn, diminishes their status as an unequivocally healthy option. It is crucial to clarify that I am not against plant-based foods or the combination of plant-based ingredients. For most people, a moderate intake of vegetables is beneficial. Some individuals, however, may require smaller portions. I no longer consume the 10 cups of salad I once did. My current recommendation is closer to 5 cups of vegetables once a day, though I often substitute this with fermented sauerkraut. Occasionally, I will opt for a kale shake, but it is a significantly smaller portion and typically blended with a small amount of blueberries. I am particularly cautious about excessive fruit intake, especially with naturally sweet fruits like pineapple. Furthermore, I do not recommend consuming a kale shake as your primary breakfast. If you are opting for a breakfast, a protein-rich meal is far more conducive to sustained energy and will prevent the subsequent hunger and cravings that a sweet, carbohydrate-heavy breakfast often induces. Finally, my seventh significant oversight was a profound magnesium deficiency. Magnesium plays a crucial role as an antagonist or preventative agent against the formation of kidney stones. Insufficient magnesium levels can lead to an imbalance where an excess of calcium can bind with oxalates. It is important to note that our bodies naturally produce oxalates, and they are not solely derived from sources like spinach, kale, almonds, or chocolate. In my case, I did experience a kidney stone, and while I wasn't consuming large amounts of spinach at the time, a severe magnesium deficiency was a contributing factor. I had neglected to supplement with magnesium consistently over the years. Magnesium prevents calcium from precipitating and forming stones, a crucial factor in helping individuals both pass existing stones and prevent new ones from forming. The impact of magnesium extends far beyond kidney health. I also suffered from debilitating muscle spasms. Magnesium is intrinsically linked to muscle relaxation. It acts as a regulator for calcium. When magnesium levels are inadequate, calcium can exert its influence unchecked, leading to increased muscle contractions. I experienced frequent and severe Charlie horses and cramps. Compounding these issues, I suffered from chronic insomnia and persistent fatigue for years. These symptoms were indicative of a severe magnesium deficiency, further exacerbated by a deficiency in vitamin D. One of the key dietary practices of our ancestors involved obtaining ample magnesium from their well water. However, with the advent of municipal water treatment, this natural source of magnesium was largely eliminated, particularly in urban areas. This shift in water composition is a significant contributor to widespread magnesium deficiency. I have prepared a complimentary download, a daily routine checklist that I personally utilize to maintain a sense of vitality akin to that of an 18-year-old despite my 60 years. I am offering this to you for free. You can find the link below. Having now detailed these 7 critical mistakes, I want to guide you towards the most important foods for optimal health. For that vital information, please refer to the video I have linked here.